Hey yo, what it do, baby? It's your boy Dynamic, and today I want to talk about some things that have been on my mind, but not about myself or anybody else, just in general about science and life. I haven't really had a science topic in a while, and well, this is something that I've been thinking, so whatever. But I've been thinking that there have been a lot of technological advances in electronic technology, robotics and stuff, even medicine, that have gone unnoticed. And I wanted to go over some of the things that I have been thinking about and express my feelings over what people are kind of, I don't know if it's neglecting, but they're not noticing. Basically, they go unnoticed. So what I first want to talk about is robotics in general. When I was a little kid, I used to play a game called Super Baseball 2020, and it was for the Super Nintendo, the SNES, and that game involved robots playing baseball. It was just all robots playing baseball. And obviously 2020 is going to get here, and we still don't have a league where robots play baseball. But I was watching a video the other day of basically a robot playing baseball. Now, it wasn't as advanced as the game I played as a kid, because the robot didn't really have a bat. It had kind of like a racket. So it was kind of playing tennis, but swinging like it was playing baseball. And it was actually able to hit the ball while it was in the air. A lot of people see this as a minor advancement, but to me, that's a very, very big advancement. Even the robots that are being created by DARPA, which is, I guess, is an organization from the government or something like that, military research organization or something like that. Even those robots, the mules and those pack robots that just walk around and stuff and carry stuff, and I'm pretty sure in the future they're gonna have weapons, and it's gonna be scary, but those are advances that largely go unnoticed. Another advancement that largely goes unnoticed: when I was a little kid, everything that they used to teach us in school about sexually transmitted diseases was, well, not everything, but a big part of it was HIV. And I remember every teacher that I had, and this was common knowledge back then, HIV had no cure, right? So I remember as a kid thinking to myself, wow, when they find the cure for HIV, it's gonna be like landing on the moon, basically, because it has been, or was, practically impossible for like 30 years, right? So I just thought to myself, man, it's gonna be like the moon landing. It's gonna be such a huge thing. But in the last year, 2 people have been cured from HIV. So it's not an incurable disease anymore. And I was kind of surprised that it kind of made no news at all. It's like, yeah, so what? Big deal. Now, I understand that it is not 100% curable for everybody yet, but it is not uncurable anymore. There's hope at the end of the tunnel. There's light. But, man, I guess it was just me. I guess it was just a big breakthrough for me. Maybe not everybody. But that's definitely not what I expected. And I'm going to move on to the next one that I was thinking about. Solar energy, solar power. We've been seeing that for like the last 15 years. Those of you guys who are a little bit older, I've been seeing that since I was 10 years old. They were talking about solar power and how it was going to basically reshape the future. And so far it hasn't. But what people don't really notice is that approximately by the year 2025, solar power will basically be cheaper than any hydrocarbon fuel. It will be cheaper than coal. It will be cheaper than gasoline. It will be cheaper than any fuel that you can get, any power that you could get from hydrocarbon fuels. And what does that mean for us? Basically, what that means for us, well, for humanity, is when something becomes cheaper, when there's an option that is cheaper than the one you currently have, and it's also more efficient and cleaner, you would probably use that option, because nobody likes spending more money for the same exact thing, right? 99% of us don't. So The majority of human beings, once this technology reaches to that point, the majority of human beings will adopt it. If you guys know what Moore's law is, basically solar panels and solar cells fall into Moore's law, where about every 2 years or every 18 months they double in efficiency. So by the time 2025 comes around, then it will be practically unavoidable for solar power to become a very, very viable source of energy, which I think it will for a while, maybe 20-30 years until fusion comes around. I think it will dominate the world, and it will bring unprecedented levels of new technology and vast amounts of new power. Another small advancement, but very significant in the car realm, are cars that are able to stop when they sense that they are probably going to crash, and before they crash, they measure the amount of speed that they have and how much time it's going to take to brake, and they decide whether to brake or not for you, so that you won't go and crash straight into a wall or into another car. And that is something that is currently saving who knows how many lives, but in newer cars that technology exists, and that's something that I think has been overlooked. And another thing that has been overlooked in the car realm is something that has also kind of been around for a while, but is finally able to materialize itself lately, and that is electric cars. Yes, electric cars. I don't know if you guys have heard of a company named Tesla Motors, I think it is. They just had their first successful quarter. Basically, they made money for the first time ever. That's the first time, I think, a full electric car company. I don't even know if a car company existed before this one, but it is the first time Tesla had positive earnings. So what does that mean? That it will probably work if they keep doing their job correctly. Electric cars will probably work, and you put that together with solar energy, which will be an incredibly cheap energy source, and voila, you have a car that is electric and will probably give you hundreds and hundreds of miles very, very cheaply. If I missed something, let me know, guys. Peace out, players.